This show may contain mature content. Specifics are listed in the notes. Therefore, listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the library. Won't you join us? Let us explore a tale from the catalog. Settle in. This is Elegant Deceit. If you like, stop at the tea room on Patreon for early episodes and bonus clues and letters, or the coffee shop to drop a coin in the tip jar. Now, on to the story. After the tragic passing of Quentin Martin, a guest at Nathaniel Worthington's birthday party, an investigation has begun into his death. With tensions rising between groups, the staff hiding themselves away, and grief and guilt beginning to compound, how long will it be before the killer makes a crucial mistake?
Do those pages help our hunt? Do they tell us who the killer is?
I expected that they would, but these aren't pages from any journal in recent memory. Look at the tightness of these creases. No, these are from a very old book. But the fact that they are this close to the scene of the murder may be a very crucial clue indeed. I can't say I fully understand the contents of these pages, however. Look here. This is clearly discussing some sort of medical treatment. I think we should talk to one of our medical professionals about it. Perhaps Samuel could help.
Percy, we are not to speak to Samuel about this. He is in mourning.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I should never have brought it up. Maybe Charlotte, then. I know her expertise is not in the practice of medicine itself, but perhaps she could help.
That should be acceptable. I'd hate to leave this room truly empty-handed.
And we should try to establish a motive. Perhaps a round of interviews with the other guests could help with the investigation.
Good idea. Maybe then we would know what to look for. Let's start with Charlotte. We could ask her about the journal pages at the same time.
There. Now we can hide out here until the master figures everything out. It will be okay.
Ulysses, please, this is really not as severe as you seem to think. After all, none of us killed Master Quentin. There is nothing to worry about.
I don't know, Josephine. Maybe we should stay here. I don't want to be made out to be the killer. Quentin was never nice to me. Maybe Samuel might think I killed him.
Exactly. Now we shall spend the night up here, and the two of you will remain in the morning while I go and talk to Master Nathaniel.
I want you to know I don't approve of this, but I will stay to help keep you and Louisa company. Thank you, Ulysses.
Of course, Josephine. There should be some blankets around here somewhere.
What is this place, Ulysses? I haven't been through this door before.
This is where Master Nathaniel was hiding during his game. It is the most hidden room in the building, and the others will not be looking for you here. I promise.
Got to be sure the information remains confidential. When they come, and of course they will, they'll try to blame me or Ollie. Gotta figure out how not to. Hello! Percival. Arabella? What are you doing out of your rooms?
We're investigating Quentin's killing.
What have you found in your investigation? I could be of use somehow, I'm sure.
Certainly. We found first.
Thank you, Nathaniel, but the less people we have on this investigation, the better. I've learned to never bring more diggers than are necessary.
Oh, I see. Right. I'll leave you to it then.
Thank you, Nathaniel. After we finish our interviews, I'll come find you. I think you might need my legal guidance after everything has calmed down.
Thank you, Arabella. I shall stay out of your way until then.
I swear, Oliver. Come in! What do you want, Henry?
Hey, you shouldn't be alone, Samuel. Not all night.
I did not ask you to come. Please leave.
All right, I shall leave. But first, please, you must tell me how I can help you.
If you killed my husband, you may help me by confessing so I can return the favor. If you did not, and you don't know who it is, you can repay me by leaving my sight and never returning.
I understand. My condolences, Samuel.
Oh, Quentin. What do I do now? Should I finish your plan? Handle it on my own? I need you with me, my love.
You aren't here to kill me too, I hope. My apologies, a very off-color joke. Please, come in. What can I do for you?
First, you may rest assured, we are not here to kill you. We are here to ask you some questions about your relationship with Quentin.
Purely as a precaution. We are interviewing every guest to determine potential motives.
Certainly. You can ask whatever you wish.
What is the extent of your relationship with Quentin Martin and Samuel Martin?
I hardly would consider myself close to either of them. I only met them twice before tonight at other events Nathaniel hosted. They are, or I suppose were, simply acquaintances I had a good deal of professional respect for.
So you had no ill will towards either of them?
No, not at all. Except that, well, you saw how Quentin interacted with the staff. He was always horrible to the servants, and I don't admire that. Otherwise, I found them both to be very respectful and kind people.
Thank you, Charlotte. That is all the questions for now. We have a small favor to ask of you.
Certainly. How can I help?
We found these journal pages in the kitchen after Quentin died. We think they might be part of a journal of some sort. Neither Percival or myself know anything about medicine, so perhaps you could look over them for us quickly.
Yes, of course. At a glance, I do not recognize any of these procedures, though the process described here is very similar to my experimental procedures for a process of blood cleansing I have been studying, to filter out toxins and allow the body to survive without the use of the kidneys. However, they do not seem to be filtering out toxins, but something else entirely. Would you mind if I held on to these? I might be able to give you a more detailed analysis given some time.
Certainly, as we have other inquiries to make. Good night, Charlotte. Please have a report for us in the morning.
Good night, Charlotte.
Good night, Percival, Arabella. Be safe.
Louisa! Josephine! Are you here? No? Ulysses? Anyone? Perhaps they have simply turned in for the night? I shall leave them be. I must figure out the meaning of these entries. Samuel! I did not expect you to still... I will go.
What time is it?
Samuel?
What time is it?
It is almost 4 in the morning, Samuel.
Still the same night?
Yes, Samuel, the same night.
That is most strange. I would have said it had been weeks. But perhaps my heart is so broken my head cannot be set straight. Come, sit with me.
Are you sure you want me to?
Of course. We are friends, aren't we?
I had never considered ours a close friendship, but friends we are.
Good, good. I feel a large lack of friends tonight.
Have the others not come to speak to you?
Your husband tried, but I was not ready to speak with anyone yet. I fear I may have hurt him with my words.
He is like rubber, my husband. It shall bounce off quickly.
I sure am glad to hear it. So what is being done about finding the killer?
Percival and Arabella are conducting an investigation. They seem highly unlikely to be suspects to me, and Percival's skills are quite useful in any kind of investigation.
I suppose that is quite true. Arabella worries me, however. There's more reason to suspect there than one may think.
What do you mean?
Well, the killer is quite obvious. Nathaniel clearly killed my husband.
Are you certain?
Most certain. He was the only one with anything Quentin threatened. No one else would raise a hand to him.
I suppose that makes sense. I simply find it very difficult to believe.
Well, I'm sure Percival will tell us the truth. I'm not worried about him conspiring with others.
Good. That's, good.
Tell me, Charlotte, why did you come in here?
Oh, Percival and Arabella gave me these medical pages they found in the kitchen and gave them to me to study. They suspect a connection of some kind.
Perhaps there is. May I see the papers, please?
Of course, you have the most right to them, and more specific knowledge than I have.
Definitely unique. I grant them that. I shall do some thinking on this, but for now, please leave me to my isolation.
Of course. Just know you are not alone, Samuel. I shall be your friend.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Of course. Good night, Samuel.
You've done nothing to clear yourself, Charlotte. A friend you may be, but to Nathaniel, or to me.
Are you alright, Nathaniel? We can return later if you require a moment.
No, Arabella, please come in. Come in. I cannot take another minute of his pacing. He is so eager to know what you have uncovered.
And he shall know, just as soon as we have finished interviewing the two of you.
I know neither of you have any secrets related to this, but
we are considering everyone suspects and are following every lead. Now, who wants to take the questions first?
I'll go first. Husband, please sit down for a moment while I answer our friend's questions.
Thank you, Oliver. Nathaniel, may we use your office for the interviews?
Certainly.
thank you. This way, Oliver.
Now, Oliver, please describe the nature of your relationship to Quentin and Samuel Martin.
I know them mostly through my husband. Quentin had already left Nathan's care by the time we began courting, but he came at least monthly for dinners and other events, such as tonight. Samuel joined him after a while.
How would you describe the relationship between Quentin and yourself?
Quentin has always been perfectly polite and cordial with me. He has long served as a trusted friend of my husband, and I have come to trust his judgment as well.
Earlier tonight you called Quentin out into the hall, talked to him in private. What did the two of you discuss?
I wanted to know what he had written in the note to Nathaniel. He said he wanted to wait for Nathaniel to tell me. We then returned.
I see. Has Nathaniel told you about the contents of the note?
He has.
What did the note say?
I think I'll leave that question for my husband.
All right, Oliver. One final question. Did you remove the card that led to Quentin Martin's death?
I did not.
Alright, you're free to go, Oliver. Please don't tell Nathaniel what we have discussed and send him right into us.
Of course. Thank you for taking the time.
It cannot be them. They are kind people. They would never kill a man.
My love, we cannot know that. Please, let us wait to hear what Nathaniel has to say. The contents of the note may bear significance to the case.
Please, sit down.
Thank you, Bella. I cannot tell you how sorry I am about this whole dreadful business.
Your apology is noted. Now, we have a few simple questions for you, if you don't mind.
Of course. Please, go ahead.
Please tell us the nature of your relationship with Quentin Martin and Samuel Martin.
Oh, Bella, you know this already.
I'd like to be perfectly certain of the details.
All right, Percival. Quentin was my apprentice from when he was 10. I was 14. We ran into each other on a street corner one day, and he impressed me with his knowledge of mining, and I hired him onto the company, and he eventually convinced me to make him my apprentice. We worked together for 8 years, after which he left my care to seek his own fortunes. During that time, he met and married Samuel. Quicker than Ollie and I were married. They visited frequently. I considered them to be two of my dearest friends.
I am sorry for your loss.
As am I.
Where were you hiding tonight, Nathaniel?
I was in...
Nathaniel, one moment while I talk to Percival. What are you doing? That is not a question we prepared.
But it matters. He was unaccounted for the longest. I need to establish his location to prove his innocence.
Fine, but no more deviations.
Understood, my love. Nathaniel, where were you during the game?
It is complicated to explain. I was hiding in a secret room on the 3rd floor. The map I left for you. Did you figure out what was wrong?
Yes, the missing inches on the 3rd floor. We were going to investigate it, but I thought there might be some sort of secret we had not found that might be able to help us. Something to do with your childhood with Arabella.
Quite right. The door was hidden behind a bookshelf. The bookshelf held a copy of Little Women.
I read that book to you when we were small.
Exactly. You would see the book, and with Percival's clue, you would find the hidden door to where I was hiding, sealed behind the bookshelf by Ulysses. I could not have left.
And what was in the note that Quentin gave to you during dinner?
He gave me a note, which stated that he had located the densest trove of coal and copper ever found on the continent. He had found a single mine, which put my dozens to shame. He would soon surpass me, and had plans to buy me out.
That explains why he was so happy. Thank you, Nathaniel.
Then why did you react so gladly to the news, Nathaniel?
Percy, leave it. We have what we need.
Nathaniel, why did you enjoy the news?
I enjoyed the news because, well, I never wanted this business to begin with. It was my father's. I am more than content to relax for the rest of my days. I could think of no one better for the task of taking over than Quentin. Of course I was pleased.
And did you tell Oliver about this?
I did. After I left the room, I went to my office to draft up orders for my mine bosses, and wrote a quick note to Oliver to explain things, which I did not deliver. Then Ulysses sealed me within my hiding place. I told him the news, and then gave him the letter. However, Ulysses insisted I tell him the news myself.
I see. Thank you, Nathaniel. You have been very helpful.
And that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Visit the tea room and see if you can solve the mystery before the last episode. Today's story was written by Greiner and features Iggy Kid as Oliver Worthington, Wendell as Nathaniel Worthington, Austin Willeke as Quentin Martin, Joshawa as Samuel Martin, Galaxy Draconic as Arabella Clarke, Paul as Percival Clarke, Madi Opincaru as Charlotte Baker, Mihai Matei as Henry Baker, Shayn as Ulysses Evans, the butler, Rocio as Louisa Cooper, the maid, Robin as Josephine Davis, the cook, and myself, Willow, as your keeper and narrator. The Willow Haven Catalogue is a production of Bare Bones Media. Find us and our other projects at barebonesmedia.ca. Until next time, take care of yourself and drink water with your tea.